Hi, folks. Tiny little rant. I don't know. It's kind of my ongoing big rant, but it's just making me a little crazier than usual. So earlier today, I got an email invitation to be a guest on a news show that will air tonight at 8 p.m. And then they are going to send me a copy of the video, so I will be able to post it. I should have it tomorrow. But it was, they're doing a story on the whole Seresto debacle that is still ongoing because there are congressional hearings taking place this week to talk about what the EPA has done or not done in response to the complaints and deaths and problems with the Seresto collars. So I don't know how they found me, but yay, they did. And of course, I had to get in my 2 cents worth on the isoxazoline products. And I said, oh, there's an even worse product than the Seresto out there. So let me give you a little clue into that. So they actually took that little soundbite at the end too. Hopefully they'll play that. And then after it went off taping, the host and I were chatting a little bit, and I was giving him a little more info. So I suspect we may get another story out of it because he was kind of blown away by, he said, we're poisoning our dogs. And I said, well, dogs and cats, poisoning our pets. So here's the deal. I looked up all the statistics and read all the complaints and everything for the congressional hearing that is happening this week. So Seresto, the collar, was tested for marketing in 2012 and came to market in 2013. And the EPA knew that there were problems with this collar as early as 2015. And through FOIA requests, Freedom of Information Act request, we actually have emails of people who work for EPA saying, the shit's going to hit the fan. It's about time. I hope heads are going to roll. Like, seriously, they knew about the problem 2 years into this being on the market and did nothing. Zip, zero, zilch, nothing. And I guarantee you, we'll get a few years down the line and we're going to hear that same crap when we get our FOIA requests for internal memos about the isoxazoline class of drugs. So here's part of the problems with this drug getting to market to begin with. They did a very small sample of animals that they put the collar on. So very small sample to test. Same thing that happened with Bravecto, the first one to come to the market. Oh, let's see, they tested 219 dogs or something. Oh, that's a little teeny tiny sample. And did they test it on puppies, old dogs, breeds that are fragile, animals who had underlying other chronic illness problems, endocrine problems? Was it tested on sick dogs? Nah. We tested it on, probably 20 lab beagles and went, good to go. So in 2015, Canada read all the problems and reports of problems that were happening in the US, things that were being reported already by 2015, and Canada said, no way, we are not allowing that collar to be sold in Canada. We will not use it. We will not allow the poisoning of our pets. Yay, Canada. EPA still did nothing. Didn't faze them that, oh, by the way, other countries are going, whoa, that stuff's pretty toxic. We don't think we want to use it. Oh, no. Big Pharma said, nah, we're good to go. We're good to go. Let's go with this. We'll run with it. So they did. So what happened, so there have been 30 million of these collars sold. So you know what Elanco Health and Bayer Animal Health are going to say when they go up in front of the congressional hearing? They're going to say, we've sold 30 million. Okay, if 2,500 dogs died. That's a really small percentage. I didn't do the math, but it's probably like 0.0001% or something really tiny. So that's going to be their excuse. They're going to say, well, we haven't killed that many. I'm sorry. If it's my one dog, that's 100%. Yeah, okay, this is not a minor rant. This is a major rant. I'm kind of ticked off. So what happened in 2021, USA Today investigative report started looking into these collars because somebody tipped them off and said, there's been 75,000 incident reports on this collar and 1,700 deaths. We think somebody should look into this. You think? Oh, by the way, we have a lot more than that for the isoxazolines, but is anybody looking into that? Huh. So maybe we should call USA Today investigative reports and get them to, jump on that one too, because if they had this much effect, maybe that's who we need to call. I don't know. So that was in March of 21. Now we are up to 98,000 deaths or incident reports and 2,500 deaths. Oh, and by the way, 1,000 people also affected. So probably we can kill as many animals as we want to, but when people start reporting problems, that's when they go, oopsie, we hurt somebody. That might be a bigger problem. Or maybe not, because it's the government. So the 1,000 people reported seizures, rashes, and heart arrhythmias. OMG. And by the way, if something on the label says, wear gloves when handling the product, or wash your hands immediately after handling the product, wait, I have to wash my hands or wear gloves, but my animal is supposed to wear this 24/7 for 8 months? Where's the disconnect? Oh, and by the way, then my toddler is going to hug the animal and maybe chew on the collar. Perfect. The other animals in the house might chew on the collar. Like, what? Anyway, so here's the problem. Even the EPA, we know that only about 1% of adverse reactions get reported because that's just statistically what it is. But even the EPA says, the symptoms can be really vague. So we're pretty sure it's grossly underreported. Because the problem is, if you put the collar on and your dog has a seizure within a couple of hours, your veterinarian might go, yeah, might be a relation. Or your veterinarian will go, nah, that never happens, can't be a problem. That's usually what happens. Like, I'm blown away by the fact that we can have a product that on the label states could cause neurologic problems. And then when the animal has neurologic problems a few weeks later, everybody says, I don't think it's related. The drug companies certainly say, we don't think it's related because we don't want to have to report that. So here's the thing when I looked up these drugs. So we're going to talk Seresto right now. So Seresto has 2 chemicals in it. It has imidacloprid and flumethrin. Imidacloprid is a neonicotinoid, and it prevents acetylcholine, which is the chemical that connects your nerve endings together and makes nerve impulses travel down the line. So it allows you to be able to go, move. So the imidacloprid prevents acetylcholine from connecting from one nerve to the next. So it paralyzes the insect. But guess what? When you look up imidacloprid, it's widely used for agricultural pest control. So agricultural pesticide that I should have my dog wear. Perfect. What it says is it is more toxic to insects than mammals. It does not say not toxic to mammals. It's just more toxic to insects than mammals, which means it is toxic to mammals. Why do we have seizures? Why do we have tremors? Why do we have dogs dying? Oh, because it was toxic for them. So the other drug that's in there, flumethrin. It is a pyrethroid insecticide. Oh, it's also a neurotoxin. And when you look that one up, it says if you're handling it for both of these, if you're handling them for like spraying on cattle or agricultural use, you should wear a respirator. You should be in a whole Tyvek suit. You have to have good ventilation, blah, blah, blah. Or our animals could wear it. And flumethrin is also really commonly known for causing skin lesions. Why do we think people are having rashes? Why do we have animals that have these red, raw rashes around their necks when they're wearing these collars? And guess where these chemicals concentrate in our animals? The liver is the first place. No shock there, because the liver has to do a lot of work detoxing anything that we put in or on our bodies. But it also goes to the bone marrow, causes lots of bone marrow problems. Some of the studies that they did in mice with these, like, bad news. Also, all the endocrine glands. Why are we seeing so much more Cushing's disease? Why are we seeing so much more hypothyroidism? Why are we having more pancreatitis? Why are we having pituitary gland problems? Oh, because chemicals go to the endocrine glands. Are we killing our pets? Yes. Are these companies killing our pets? Yes. Do they have any remorse? No. Because I guarantee you they're going to sit in front of that congressional committee and they're going to go, we didn't do anything wrong. We tested it. It was all good. And actually, Elanco bought it from Bayer. So I don't know. Maybe Elanco will just throw Bayer under the bus and go, it's not our fault. I don't know. We'll see. It'll be interesting to see how it all pans out. But isn't it really interesting that finally it caught somebody's eye? I don't know whether this congressperson had an animal that was affected, had a family member's animal that was, I don't know how it got to them that they went, ooh, maybe we should look at this. But I can tell you that when the people who did Project Jake survey, we got a phone call with the FDA, and they outright said, I wish I had recorded it, because they outright said, we haven't had enough complaints yet. We haven't seen enough death yet. Well, what is enough? You know, kind of one. But maybe one is a one-off. When we get to the thousands, I'm thinking we're there. I really think we're there.